Welcome to episode 207. My name is Chelsey Goldberg. I am from Los Angeles, California, and I hope you enjoy.
You're the most decorated racquetball player in U.S. history. World's strongest man. From childhood passion to professional athlete. 8-time Ironman champion. So what was it like making your debut in the NHL? What is your biggest piece of advice for the next generation of athletes? From underdogs to national champions. This is the Athletes Podcast, where high-performance individuals share their triumphs, defeats, and life lessons to educate, entertain, and inspire the next generation of athletes. Here we go.
So I'm a California girl. Boston was great, but it's nice to be back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You excited for this?
I'm stoked.
How many podcasts have you been on, Chelsey?
Oh, man, I don't know.
Too many to count, eh?
Quite a few, for sure.
You and who's the gal we just met? You're both famous. It's
Molly.
Molly.
Yeah. She's awesome.
The Little Kings program. You guys got everything going on here down in LA.
We do.
It's pretty.
We're trying.
It's pretty legit. This is a sick practice facility.
Completely.
Right.
That's why when you're like, do you have any good spots? In my head, I'm like, we could do the beach. That would be a sick change up.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But then I'm like, the wind, airplanes, the ocean.
Yeah.
Still cool, but then I'm like, this place, you guys would love this place. So.
We're checking off boxes. Last time we were in LA, Xana Muno, we did it on what is it? Is it Hermosa Beach? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So that was sick. That was right on the water. That was cool.
Views.
Yeah. Wind was okay. Sun was a little bit of an issue. But that's all right. And then cops airplane every 5-10 minutes. Only when he talked though, so it was really unfortunate. But he was a trooper.
That's
he
a
crushed
funny
it.
one.
But this is legit. And
this is great.
you know, now we get to flex the little Kings logos in there.
Kings, yeah.
That's because you're part of player development too. These are the perks you get, hey?
Yeah.
Tell me about player development coming from an athlete. I mean, I first need to start Chelsey Goldberg. You're perfect.
Chilling.
I still need work. 205 episodes in, we're still making and figuring out what the heck we're doing here.
And you already got Connor McDavid again.
I know, twice.
Yeah.
Did you and Molly both think that? Just Molly?
I was thinking it. She said it.
Fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
So, yeah, we both were thinking it.
Yeah. He's on a tear right now.
I know.
He's on a heater.
I do know that.
Both
the Connors.
I mean, Bedard probably has a bit of little gumption, little extra energy here after all that online hate. It's crazy what happens with social media, hey?
Yeah, social media can be such a good thing, but also such a bad thing. I'm not huge on social media. I am with work, but other than that, I'm just a very in-person kind of person, and I don't like the shade on social media at all.
It sucks that the league's perennial next face of it is just riddled with this crap for
Completely.
A week. Let's talk about Chelsey Goldberg though. From the start, hockey player, LA gal, as you said, not normally where people play hockey.
No.
And I hear your parents didn't even know about hockey much.
Yeah.
Is that true?
That's very true.
Yeah.
Which was kind of nice for me because it was less pressure, right? It was we could go. I have a twin brother, so I grew up playing with him, and we could play our game. We played together, same team, same line growing up. Funny story about that in a little bit, but we'd play our game and then we get off the ice and it was we were chilling, we knew if we had a good or a bad game, but we didn't hear it from the parent side of it. So I guess less pressure at the end of the day. But yeah, my dad, I mean, I don't know if he still knows the rules or not. He'll he'll be why'd the whistle blow, whatever. Could be offsides, could be icing, I don't know. It's just your typical just a typical California family. Soccer players, I have 2 other siblings, soccer players. Mom was a swimmer. So I love swimming growing up, actually, and lacrosse and soccer, all the California sports. Hockey was not in question at all for a long time, until 12 years old.
Yeah, what made that happen?
Hockey. Roller hockey.
Okay.
Our best friends growing up got rollerblades, so my brother and I are wait a second. Let's get some rollerblades. So we did and started playing roller hockey. It got too hot outside and then moved to ice hockey. And then our coaches along the way just kept encouraging us to pursue it. We had the work ethic foremost, and then second, obviously the passion for it, but we were talented as well. So once we decided that we could take it somewhere, we both just head down focus, and we both went to college for it.
End up at Northeastern.
Yeah.
Tell me about that experience.
Oh, so much to say. Boston is the best city ever.
Yeah.
I love Boston.
Even though you still want to be in LA. It's okay.
I do. Differences, right? And I'm also like, I just moved back to LA recently.
Right.
So I'm still trying to figure out, like, as an adult, the LA life. Because I was here, 15 years ago. So I've been on the East Coast for 15 years. But Boston was amazing. Northeastern's incredible. Couldn't have asked for a better school for me. Personally, I think just everything about it was great for my situation. If I could do it all over, I would still choose Northeastern at the end of the day.
Winters weren't a thing, no big deal?
They were a thing, 1,000%. I still, like, even in LA when it's 65, you're in a short sleeve right now, and I'm like, I'm in my sweatshirt, my whatever. I'm bundling up. Like, that's cold. So I'm not used to it still.
I'm sweating right now, just so we're clear. And it's not just the nerves, but no, I'm kidding. I don't know. Cali's great, though. It's tough to, I can't believe you left for 15 years.
Isn't that crazy?
Was something going on? Concussions?
Like, honestly, every time I left California from the holidays, I'd be like, what am I doing? And then I'm like, oh, hockey. Like, I get it. And my life moved back there, so it was more than just hockey. It was work. It was obviously after college playing pro, and we all had to work full time. So, like, I had a real estate job back there. So it was like my life actually moved back there at the same time, and my group of friends and everything like that. But yeah, they're completely different cities. I love them both, but I'm happy to be back for sure.
Yeah, and you get more vitamin D here. It's way better for you.
Right, and like this amazing organization, it's great.
Yeah, so
Los Angeles born, that's me.
How do you go from, because you were a CWHL after university, you're playing there, you were considering potentially PWHL, I heard rumor mill, and I know Carl said that you're like, you and your brother are basically the same, and you had similar lives growing up, basically followed steps, you're inseparable. Like, that whole experience, I'm just curious, like, how do you decide that, okay, I'm not going to pursue hockey to this for me personally, but now you're going to help other players develop? Like,
yeah, it's still an ongoing question in my head completely, and I'm still figuring it out. I mean, I spent, oh gosh, I'm going to age drop myself right now. I'm 30, spent the past 15 years in Boston. I mean, I've been playing hockey for a long time. It's been my life, but I also love giving back to what's given me so many opportunities. Hockey has been incredible for me. The opportunities I've gotten, amazing. The people I've met, incredible. And I want to give other people that same chance that hockey's given me. So for me, it feels right giving back, and any chance I can, I do. The Kings have been awesome with it. I've been doing some of my own independent stuff with growing the game, which has been amazing. Do a lot of public speaking, a lot of initiatives in other countries. So my goal at this point is to grow it everywhere, I guess. And I'm not done playing, so I will say that. Like, I'm not officially announcing retirement or done playing. I'm just rerouting, I guess, in a different... I've been producing music, so there's a lot of layers of me that a lot of people don't know, probably because I'm active on social media to an extent, but not crazy. So there's a lot of layers that I'm still diving under and figuring out and seeing where it takes me.
It's that was one of the things when I was chatting with Carly, you brought her up. I was like, give me some dirt on Chelsey. What can I soak up before the conversation?
Yeah.
And she was talking about the fact that, like, you've kept your doors open. And that's one of the things hockey players, athletes in general, sometimes struggle because they identify with their one sport and that's it, right?
Yeah.
And maybe not the best case long term for potential growth. How have you been able to kind of manage everything, travel to different countries?
It's actually great you bring that up. Like, I have been known as a hockey player my whole life, but it's not something that I necessarily identify as, and I don't necessarily want to be known as just the hockey player. Like, I'm a cool-ass person. Yeah. And, like, I want to be known as more than a hockey player. Like, I love giving back. I have been through crazy adversity that has changed me as a person, and I don't want to just be a hockey player. So I've always soaked up as many opportunities as possible, and music has been a passion of mine for so long, and I'm finally getting my feet in there, and it's been amazing. And off the record, I'll tell you my next big plan, but I have some plans in the making that I think would be a really cool balance of both.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, so where do you want to go? Fun story with your brother, traveling to new countries?
Good memory.
Yeah.
Fun story with my twin brother. Obviously, best friends, shared a womb together. Like, we are inseparable. We live together in Boston. Like, we've been in the same city and state our whole lives, literally. He played college hockey in Boston too, so it was amazing. But growing up playing with the boys, I actually was captain of the boys teams for many years.
No big deal.
I mean, aside from that, it was one of those things where it's like, I did get hit because I was a girl sometimes. And I hate saying that, but it was just reality. A couple concussions, whatever. So I actually put my hair up in my helmet, like my bun, my little bun in my helmet. People had no idea I was a girl. So we were on the same line, and he was my assistant captain. And people were like, oh, the Goldberg brothers. But they had no idea I was a girl. So then at the end of a game or a tournament, I would take my helmet off on the blue line, let my hair down, and you could just hear everybody being like, oh, no way. It was great.
That would be wild as an opposing player.
Right? Yeah.
To just see blonde hair flow out the back.
Completely.
Like, what the?
Yeah.
So you guys were targeting you when you had the
a little
flow
bit.
out?
Yeah. Or I don't know if it was like the girl thing or the captain thing. I worked hard. I don't know. It could have been a combo of all of the above.
Yeah.
But for me, that was my way of protecting myself. And then at the end, it was just like, okay, let it down. And then you could just hear everybody be like, what?
Was the bro covering for you if you got hit? Was he coming
Completely.
to you?
Yeah. He's the best guy in this whole world. But yeah, always has my back. Always has his. I always have his. So it's amazing.
I pity the fool that hits her, you know?
Yeah.
Brother coming in. You've also represented your country, talked about traveling to different countries. You want to shine some light on what you did there? Like, because that was insane. Just like that whole experience.
Yeah.
I want to let you share it.
Yeah, it's crazy. Again, I'm huge on opportunity for others. Obviously, it's really cool being a part of it myself, but I think just sharing it with others is more important to me and having other people have the same opportunity. So back to my twin. He got the opportunity to represent USA in Israel in 13. And I asked if I could play with the guys, and they said no, a hard no. And I was like, okay.
Any reason?
Just no. And I was like, okay. And then in my head, I'm like, I grew up playing with the boys, played the cross. Like, I can take a hit, you know? And so fast forward a few years, he got another chance in 2017, same thing, represent USA in Israel. So I asked again. I was like, can I play now? Like, a few years have passed. No. And so I'm like, okay, like, let's do this for the girls. And so I tag teamed with a few other people from the organization, and we went to town. I had a spreadsheet for 8 years of girls that I knew would be interested, and other Jewish hockey players. And for 8 years, my spreadsheet kept growing from like 10 to 20 to 70 to 80. And then I had over 100 girls listed on my spreadsheet, Canada included. And so when I was a part of the CWHL, I actually met a player on one of the Canadian teams who was another Jewish female player. And she messaged me around the same time that I was growing all this. And she was like, I've been wanting to do this for Canada. And I was like, let's go. You can help me on the Canadian side. Yeah. I'll take the American side. And we learned that the Israeli team was already practicing and had girls interested. So it just kind of all kept falling into place. It took a long time, but it was like a snowball effect. Once we lined up certain things, players, rosters, coaches, we presented it to the organization, and they stamped it and said, all right, it's happening. And that's a short story, but it was amazing. The best experience ever. I think it was just the coolest thing knowing that we could make that happen, and now it's in the games now.
You know what we'd also love to hear from you guys, specifically the males watching this Athletes Podcast episode. What are you guys doing for your face? You guys are probably brushing your teeth every day, but are you washing your face? Are you applying the good every night to make sure that you're hydrated, moisturized, making sure that your skin looks young, youthful, glowing? I personally use Caldera Lab. I start off my day by washing my face with the clean slate. You can tell it's still wet. That's because I used it this morning. Then I follow it up. I throw on the nice little icon here in the middle underneath the eyes, keeps those black dark spots away. And then to finish it off, we use the beard product to make sure that the beard's looking nice and full. Check out calderalab.com. Use the code AP20 for 20% off yours. It's the best deal that they offer anywhere out there. And I can't recommend the products enough. I use Caldera Lab every single day. As you can tell, my skin's looking all right, and I'm very happy with it, to say the least. I want to know, though. If you're using it, let us know down below. Guys, promise you're going to love it. Almost a decade's worth of work.
Yeah.
Through your kind of hockey career going along at the same time during school. You're like, I can't even wrap my head around the amount of work that would go into that on top of everything else. Who were the kind of instrumental individuals, if you want to shout them out? Were they a part of it?
Yeah, the Poli family. Yeah. They're on the chair of hockey, Maccabi. So amazing family, and also shared the same vision of giving women the opportunity to play there as well. So it was a combo of them, myself, the Canadian girls that helped me. There were so many people to thank within the organization itself, but it was a team effort for sure, and I'm just so happy we were able to get it done.
What was it like playing in Israel?
Honestly, it gives me chills thinking back to it. It was so cool because I've always been so proud to be Jewish. That's been more of an identity for me than even a hockey player. Like, I've just always been one of the only Jewish players on every one of my teams, my brother and I. And then on the female side, I was really like one of maybe two or just one of one on every team. Wow. So for me, my family is, I would say, pretty religious. And so for me, it's always been who I've been. And for me to combine faith plus sports was just the coolest experience ever. Yeah. The arena we played at was beautiful in Jerusalem. Amazing group of people that we were with. Met so many cool people. It was just, and Israel's beautiful. I don't know if you have any plans to go there at any point, but it's, Jewish or not, everybody needs to see that place.
I've heard.
Yeah.
It's on the bucket list for sure.
Yeah.
And it's, I mean, we've been going at 1,000,000 miles an hour. We just got back from Australia, so, we got to figure out timelines,
for sure.
budgets, see if someone can pay for it. Might have
shout out.
Might have Delta coming in helping us fly around.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah, for sure.
You got to take advantage of opportunities when they show up.
Exactly.
Like you said, right?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, 100%.
I'm always curious. Like Emma Malte, who we just had on the show as well, Canadian Olympic player. She played on the boys growing up as well. Was there any experiences that you'd provide to younger gals?
Yeah.
Insights, wisdom that you would say, hey, if you're going to be playing with the boys, maybe make sure you're checking off these boxes, or maybe watch out for this?
Honestly, I wouldn't suggest anything other than being yourself as a player and having fun. Make sure you're having fun. I had fun my whole career. That's why I'm not ready to be done playing. Yeah. Even breaking both my legs, that was crazy in itself, and that was the hardest time in my life. But I never fell out of love with the game. And so for me, I would just say, as long as you're having fun, that's the most important piece of the puzzle. Playing with the boys is amazing. I mean, it's a fast game.
Yeah.
The physicality is different than obviously the girls' side, but I think it actually gives you more skills in the long run. Sure. I mean, going from boys hockey to girls hockey kind of was not a bad adjustment. In fact, I almost felt like I had an advantage because it's a faster game. It's more physical, quick decisions, the whole 9 yards. So I think advice would just be have fun with it. If you're not having fun with it, maybe reevaluate. But I wouldn't say change your game in any way.
I mean, Frig, if you're having to play against higher competition, your
step up your game. Exactly.
Going to elevate, and you're only going to be better off down the road.
Yeah,
right?
Completely.
You brought up breaking your legs. I was going to bring it up at some point. Can you walk us through, or maybe crutch us through what that was like?
Yeah, crazy experience. Honestly, I was out for 4 years with broken legs and just a whole different set of adversity that I faced. But so hockey took me back east to Vermont in high school. And at that point in time, I had known I wanted to pursue the college route. I was good enough. I was in the USA pool. I was top 10 forwards in the country at that point for my age group.
Yeah, no big deal.
And I knew that Olympics was my goal. I wanted to be on the Olympic team. I wanted to get to college hockey, make the national team, etc. So I worked my ass off to get to where I was. And fortunately, I got exposure to a team in Vermont called North American Hockey Academy. And they offered me a spot on their older team. They said, we have one more spot left. I had already signed with a team in LA. But I was like, man, just the exposure that they get back east every weekend is crazy. And for me, for my hockey, decision. It just made sense.
Yeah.
Ended up signing with them back east and went there junior, senior of high school. Ended up breaking both my legs, almost a year to the day. So the first broken leg, I got tripped on a breakaway and just went feet first, snapped. Knew it instantly. We were playing in Canada, actually. And so I had to wait till we got home to Vermont to, like, go get x-rays and everything. It was pretty crazy, but, I mean, all part of the journey, I guess. And then recovered from that 6 months later. Actually, but back up a little bit. I had already signed with Northeastern at this point.
Okay.
So through through the USA stuff and other camps, I had already been in touch with Northeastern and already signed. So that was a great relief.
Mm-hmm.
I did have to call my coach and be like, yo, just broke my leg. And he was like, listen, if anyone could get through it, it's you.
Right.
Like, just work ethic and mentality.
What a coach.
Amazing.
Yeah. Amazing.
And so recovered, got better, started my senior year playing, and then broke the second leg. It was like January 30th that I broke my one leg, and then it was like January 31st or like February 1st that I broke the second leg, and that was just a fluke. Collided with somebody, knee spun, foot planted in the ice, and just spiral broke. So that was a pretty gnarly one. It broke in 4 places and actually needed surgery. So flew home to get surgery. Took another 6 months to recover. Had to call coach again, be like, hey, just broke my second leg. And he thought I was joking. He's like, are you pulling my leg? I'm like, I'm actually not. Like, I same bone too, so both fibulas, just different legs. And
You're
he's like,
no, coach, I'm not pulling your leg.
I'm like, I'm
mine.
actually like serious about it. I wish I was pulling your leg on this one. But same thing, another 6 months, recovered again. So like recovered, then caught up, and then excelled, where I was previously. So I was back in shape for college.
Yeah.
I get to Northeastern freshman year and start training, whatnot. I get mono really bad, classic. But like mono so bad that I actually had to take a leave of absence from college and come home. It was that bad.
Whoa.
And I think it was because I kept training and playing, and I had no idea.
Didn't have it.
It was
Didn't let
really bad.
recover.
So came home, took a leave, went back, and they wouldn't even clear me for the second half of season because my spleen and liver were so enlarged. So it was a really bad case of mono. That was my 3rd year. And then same thing, like...
Sick start to uni, eh?
And I was like, okay, all right, I've been here before. Like, I've spent the last 2 years doing this, playing catch-up. And so going into my sophomore year at Northeastern, I was so ready. I was like, let's make this a great year after 3 years. I start training again. Obviously, like, the ice was in, so we could train prior to season, and then was on the ice. And every time I got off the ice, one of my ankles was, like, this big. It was like a balloon every time. And my team doctor was like, Chelsey, like, you got to get that checked out. Not just for season, but, like, for your future.
Mm-hmm.
Got it x-rayed, MRI'd, and it turned out that I had 5 screws in a plate in one of my legs, and the 5th screw, instead of going right into my fibula, it was going down into my ankle.
Well, that felt good.
Great, right? Yeah. And so just agitated nerves, and the swelling was so bad, and he was like, it's up to you. Like, you could push through every day, which I was at that point.
Yeah.
But he's like, is it worth it, to have arthritis or whatever it may lead to in the future? And I just made the decision, like, let's just get it removed. So went in for surgery sophomore year, and that was my 4th year. And I missed that whole year again. And I actually got offered a couple red shirts, but at that point I was so mentally drained that I was like, I can't.
Yeah, and you're dealing with school on top of all this.
Dealing
you're
with
like,
school.
I'm not red shirt, come back, I'm going to get another injury at that point.
Right.
Like,
and the mental game
your
behind
mental
that
state.
is crazy. Like, I learned so much about myself and pushing my limits and recovering and getting stronger, but it was mentally exhausting. And so I knew after recovering, after 4 years, I could get through anything. I really did, which was great. And that's why I say if I could go back and do it all over, I would choose the same path. Like, I would break my legs again because it made me a better person.
Yeah.
In the long run, better athlete, better person, and that's what the game's about. I mean, you go through adversity. If you don't go through adversity, you're not going to learn. You're not going to grow. So it was amazing, and my first game back junior year, I scored 2 shorthanded goals. My family was in the stands. It was the coolest moment. It was like a full circle, like, this is why you didn't give up. There were times when I'm like, I can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
But I didn't. And my coach honored my scholarship, and I think that alone kept me pushing. And obviously knowing I had his support, my team's support, my family's support, my support, like, I knew I didn't want to give up. So it was a full circle moment where it all happened for a reason. And my family was in the stands. They never really made it back to Boston that often, so having them there was really special.
2 shorties first game back.
Yeah.
I'm trying to wrap my head around the mental state of, like, basically 4 years at university trying to play the sport that you love, not being able to do it for one even consecutive year. Were you using university, like, resources? Were you meditating? Like, how are you coping with this, like, mentally?
I definitely utilize university resources.
Yeah.
The counseling and therapy program was great. I actually studied counseling and therapy, got a degree in that because of everything I went through, and it made me want to help others in a way that I got help and whatnot. So definitely utilized what I could. My family was the best support.
Yeah.
Friends, teammates. I had a great support system, and I definitely attribute getting through that to them, and I wouldn't have gone through without them. So it was a lot of self-talk and a lot of positive talk, but without the support system, it wouldn't have happened either.
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy. But also that kind of encouraged me to become a public speaker and share my story and experience so I can help people that might be going through something similar. Maybe if it's not on the scale degree that I experienced it, but getting hurt is not easy. College sports, pro sports, it's a mental toughness battle that you have to face. So I do a lot of speaking to all different ages, all different groups now, just whether it's my experience with that or exposing hockey around the world or whatever it may be. Like, I just love sharing my experiences to help other people at the end of the day.
And that's why you end up impacting so many little Kings, helping there with the LA Kings development program. I want to shine light on that Little Kings because it's pretty cool. The program that I just clarified that all NHL teams do this. I didn't know. Apparently, Little Kings were the first to market, though. We'll go with that, as Molly said. They get like $1,000 worth of equipment. They show up, they rip around.
Something like that, yeah. 700, 1,000. It's crazy, but it's a league-wide initiative.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It gives the exposure to kids that might not be able to afford it or were exposed to it previously, and it gives them a chance to get a stick in their hands on the ice with, obviously, professional players or whoever it may be in the community, and it's amazing. It gives them access to the sport that maybe they wouldn't have had.
I have a little cousin who's going through, or will be starting it shortly. Miller Harding, shout out to you. You won't be watching this, but maybe in 10 years you will.
Oh, yeah.
And you'll look back and be like, yo, Chelsey, I watched that, and now I'm playing for the Kings.
Or my cousin Dave.
That's true.
Yeah, exactly.
If he follows in the goalie footsteps.
Oh.
I know. Hopefully. Fingers crossed.
Wow, we have to talk about that too.
What, being an attendee?
Yeah.
Why? You didn't think?
No,
I didn't come across as weird?
No, absolutely not. Wouldn't have guessed that.
We're progress.
Yeah. Yeah.
What, just because I look like McDavid, you think I'm a forward?
Yeah. Maybe.
Classic.
Something like that.
Classic.
Something like that.
Yeah, no goals in my day. Just stopping them occasionally.
Assist? Apples?
Probably a couple apples.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I like to play the puck.
Okay.
I like to toss it around
All right.
out there. I had some fun.
Nice.
Let more in than I had apples, though, for sure.
Okay, well, I don't know if I believe that, but we can flip the podcast for me to interview you at some point.
Yeah, I mean, my AA goaltending abilities definitely deserve to be on the Athletes Podcast. No, that's why I'm sitting here asking the questions. But I feel like I played enough sports during my time that I can relate. And, I broke my wrist playing football, so I know what that was like recovering from one injury. I can't even imagine. That's why I'm still reeling from what breaking both your legs would feel like.
Yeah, they crack I could just crack them on the spot.
Like, what is your you've got to have.
See it? See?
Yeah, you've got to have.
That's why I don't like shoes. I think is one reason because it's so constricting. Not it.
Sure, you would not feel good. Do you have a protocol now to get prepared, warming up? Are you hitting the ice bath? Are you sauning?
My gosh, the ice bath was my favorite routine. Actually, before every game, it would be the same treatment routine, stretching.
Break it down.
band work, but then it would be ice bath and hot bath. It was contrast. Before that was even a cool thing to do. It was like I did the contrast before every single game in practice, and it felt so good.
Yeah. So you did that before?
I did before, yeah.
Interesting.
I was at the rink getting treatment like 4 hours before every game.
Oh,
yeah, I was there for a long time because it was like the routine that I needed to be able to perform. So kind of crazy, but when I was recovering from breaking those legs, my mechanics switched from being glute dominant, as a hockey player should be, to being quad dominant. So I had to retrain my muscle memory to connect my glutes, not my quads, every time I, pushed off or whatever.
Whoa.
So a lot of my treatment was like the band work before getting the glutes activated and fired up, and then doing the tubs or vice versa, whatever it was.
Super interesting. Why did that happen?
It was somehow I was overcompensating.
Okay.
When I was recovering.
Yeah, so you probably just.
So my mechanics just switched somehow.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
Crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I think that happens probably a lot when guys start, or people in general start hitting the weight room.
Completely.
Right? They start squatting, and if they're quad dominant.
Or if you're not activating your core or whatever it is, you're gonna fire something else up.
Yeah. Did you learn a lot of that in school, or did you find like through hockey? Like, where did you get your resources for training?
Definitely through the athletic trainers at our school. They were amazing. Shout out to them. They were my best friends. I spent a lot of time with them. But they were so knowledgeable, so smart, and they're the ones that basically said like, you gotta fire up those glutes again. So it was a lot of like band work, activating the glutes before I could even start anything. Yeah.
Do you know Jesse Kirsch?
Yes, I do.
I had a feeling that you knew him.
I do.
I was like,
I do.
You have like similar vibes.
I do.
Okay, how do you know Jesse?
But I don't remember.
Oh, bar down?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So he's not.
But of course, bar down. But like, I don't remember how we connected.
Oh. Yeah. He.
But we are gonna try to do some stuff together.
Are you?
Yeah.
Sick. He's a beauty. A good friend of mine.
Yeah. Well, shout out Jesse. I hope to see you soon.
Well, he's doing B Clutch apparel now.
Okay.
And he's sending us some stuff actually, which we can't wait to try out.
Nice.
But we're gonna get some more AP stuff done. Cool. Roller golf, one of the other. This is.
Yeah, that's fire, by the way. Yeah, it's great.
Thank you. We gotta.
This is two. This is two.
We got a little something out there. Trying to make sure people see the brand.
I love it. I told all of them that I was doing that. I mean, it's very nice of them to host us in here. So.
Major shout out to the Kings organization for putting this together. Not often we get some nice hospitality from the organization. I guess it's perks when we bring in incredible people like yourself. Do you want to shine light on what your thoughts are on like this current new PWHL?
Of course, yeah.
We were at the draft, Phoenix and I. Yeah. It was a pretty incredible experience.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear from your perspective.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I was right there in it. I was a part of it. I spent many years in the PWHPA after the CWHL folded. And again, it was just always my goal to create a foundation for women to dream about playing pro. Like that, at the end of the day, was just such a cool thought that we could have that opportunity to be, the foundation of the next generation. So that was always my mindset going into it, playing. I mean, my body's broken. Like, I've been through a lot, but I wanted to keep playing in that organization for that reason. And the mission behind it was so special to me. So I did some work with the board of the PWHPA, met a lot of great people. And at the end of the day, when it turned into the PWHL, I obviously wanted to play and had some conversations, but just off the record for some stuff that is cooking behind the scenes, like for my own future, I needed to make other decisions. But I think it's amazing. I think what they're doing now is incredible. And I think this is the next step in the right direction, to have that foundation for girls to dream about playing. Yeah. It's crazy. It's so cool.
It is. Like, we had Megan Augusta on the pod for the 200th episode, and she was the #1 overall draft in the CWHL.
Okay.
Fast forward, now we're witnessing the PWHL draft. We have Emma Malte on, who's getting drafted. And one of the things, you just brought it up, is like providing the same opportunities for women that men have had for decades.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're familiar. We have an agency, Cook Stark Management, LDC Talent. We represent couple players in the PWHL right now, amongst other sports. But I wanted to see, or I was curious, from your perspective, being in the sport for a decade plus, what it's like sourcing out representation, getting marketing deals, brand deals, how difficult / easy was it for you?
Yeah.
Like, from a female's perspective, been in it, you've got a solid social media following. Like,
yeah.
Not every female has that.
Yeah.
And not everyone has the ability to get those introductions made and have those connections.
No, that's a great question, and I get asked that a lot. I am very self-made. Like, everything on my social media, I've worked so hard to get to where I am.
Mm-hmm.
Social presence, but also personal presence. Just everything is just, I've worked hard to do it. But females also, in the state that we've been in, we've kind of had to put that extra effort in if we wanted to get that exposure. Or so for a lot of branding, it's a lot of self-exposure. Yeah. Unfortunately, we don't have the representation. Now we're starting to see more representation, which is amazing. But for so long, we didn't have that. Mm-hmm. Or maybe a select few, a handful of players had that from their national programs or whatever, but everyone else had to really work hard for that. And so it's definitely growing in the right direction. I'm stoked to see it. Mm-hmm. I think getting brand deals is something that is a really cool experience. Once you experience it, it makes you feel like your hard work is paying off at the end of the day. And
for sure.
I have a few partnerships right now that are amazing, but also it's a really cool connection with an organization that has the same values and morals and goals as you. So a lot of it with branding is how you see yourself and how other people and organizations see yourself as well, and kind of just combining the two.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a strategy or like specific kind of points that you like to bring up or make sure that you highlight about you yourself that helps or that
for sure. I think I'm a very outgoing, easygoing.
No, you seem pretty uptight.
Just wanting to I just want to get to know people, and my mission is to help as many people, and that's on the hockey side, that's on your self-growing side, your mental health side. Like I want to share my experience and help people. So I think one of the first things I say is, do you align with that? Like, do you want to genuinely help people? Because if so, we're going to team up right now. You know what I mean? So my biggest thing is just being a good person.
Yeah.
I strive to be the best person that I could be every single day. I learn from my mistakes. I grow from my mistakes. I grow from challenges, from adversity. And I think if brands and companies align with that, then it's a no-brainer for me.
You want to shout any out right now?
Liquid IV is my favorite.
Ooh,
I love Liquid IV.
Okay,
it keeps me hydrated, Yeah, shout out Liquid IV.
Yeah, there you go.
Stay hydrated. Fuel life's adventures. That's our slogan.
Fucking rights it is.
Yeah.
It's actually crazy if you're spending time in the sauna.
Oh, this is me.
CG?
Yeah. Shout out Millions. Yeah.
Okay. I love it.
Yeah.
I spend a lot of time in the sauna, and if I don't drink my electrolytes in the morning or after, it's like I notice a difference. And I didn't for probably a year or two plus. I was just like crushing saunas every other day, hydrated, drinking a ton of water. I'm like, I'm good, right? And I was like, why am I so drained? Had bags under my eyes. I'm like, ooh, electrolytes.
Completely.
Yeah. It's a factor.
They're huge, and I live a very outdoorsy life. Even in Boston, I was always doing something. I'm always up to something. A lot of the Kings staff they were like, what are you doing here? I'm like, I'm always up to something. Like, I just was on the ice with a few of the players the other day, and so I'm around here often, but not too often.
Right.
But I'm always up to something, and I think, that's why Liquid IV and I just really connected, was because, you can take electrolytes anywhere. Gave them to the players in Brazil. It was great.
Yeah.
And it's just, everyone could always use electrolytes, so it's a really cool one.
Okay, you bring up Brazil.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
Oh, man.
Tell the audience.
I'm so happy just thinking about it. I want to go back. It was getting women's hockey to Israel was a crazy experience in itself, but then getting the opportunity to tag along with an organization to help expose hockey there and coach hockey and connect with the players there was so powerful, so incredible, so appreciative. And that's my favorite part of players like that, is when they're grateful for players like myself or Swaggy P, who I was with, getting that chance to help them.
Yeah.
If you're receptive of that, you're going to go a long way. You're going to get further than somebody that's not.
I feel like you have an ability to connect with basically whoever you want. Are there specific people you love working with in hockey, in life, in general, other than Liquid IV?
Everyone provides something. I look at it like every single person I connect with, there's a reason I'm connecting with them. Like, I'm connecting with you, I'm connecting with Phoenix, like, I connected with Carly for a reason.
Yeah.
You know, like, everyone I connect with, I genuinely believe that they provide value in my life, or I could provide value in theirs. So maybe it's like, you know, a two-way street or a one-way street to start, and then eventually there's always going to be value with connecting with people, and whether or not you know what purpose they serve in your life at that point, you might not know, but eventually you'll look back and realize, okay, like, this is why I connected with them. So to be honest, like, I don't want to shout out just one person because I think everybody truly brings something special to my life.
That's a perfect answer, because I get asked that all the time around guests on the pod, and I'm like, I can't. There's 200 plus, first off, and each person has their own unique story, their own unique aspect that makes them so exciting and so interesting, and be able to...
Everyone's so different.
Right?
Yeah.
Snowflakes.
Yeah.
Even though you don't get them down here.
We do. I'm going up in a couple weeks.
You're right. There was an Instagram of you snowboarding in a bikini.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
July 4th.
Not bad.
Snow, California.
Must be nice.
Yeah.
Like...
Yeah,
BC
different.
and California are probably the only two places you can do that where you can ski and
BC
snowboard.
Too?
Yeah, you can, like...
Banff?
Nope. West.
Love Banff. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
West of Banff. Banff's Alberta.
Okay.
It's okay. Bobby Ryan made that mistake.
Yeah. I got to get my provinces right.
Canadian geography. People down here don't really care about what's going on up there.
I do.
It's okay.
I personally love Canada. I always joke that, like, I could see myself, not joke because I was serious, but I could live there for sure. I love the Canadian people. I love the culture. I love it.
Yeah. You just break out a couple of
and
A's
I think
and you fit
with
right
like the CWHL, we travel there so often that I just began to really embrace, you know, every city that we went to.
Was your CWHL contract similar to Meg Delay's of like a $5,000 per year?
We all had the same. That's what was so crazy about women's hockey is, like, we all had the same contract.
Yeah.
And, like, for me as somebody that, had my stint with the national program and had a great career, but, like, I wasn't, you know, up to the Olympian par. Like, we shouldn't have had similar contracts, you know what I mean? So that's why I'm stoked where the PWHL is now, and the trajectory of women's hockey is just going like this, and it's amazing.
Yeah, she was the second episode on the Athletes Podcast.
Okay.
Shout out to Meg.
Wow.
And, she was like $5,000.
Full circle, yeah.
She was driving a blue Mustang, brand new, and I was like, you're not even gonna be able to pay for gas to drive back to Buffalo. Like, it's crazy. Or she was driving to Markham too. Like, it's insane.
It's wild.
And now you're seeing $150,000 contracts being signed.
Exactly.
VHF, mind you, but you know, we'll see what PWHL brings to the table.
Completely.
It'll be exciting. Yeah.
So exciting. And I think those are the small differences that are gonna make the big difference in the long run.
Well, and even Emma Malte was saying, she's like, she's living a pro life, right? She wakes up, get to go work out, go to the arena, they have food there. Like, it's a professional lifestyle, which is a big change from what you were exposed to, probably.
The CWHL, it was crazy to talk to people about the differences that we were getting versus what NHL play. I have a lot of friends that are living out their dream in the NHL, and just to see the differences as far as the small things of bringing in your equipment in and out of a locker room every night. Like, that's something, even in college, you leave your stuff there, and it's the small things like that add up.
Yeah.
And we didn't even have a home rink, a home locker room. We were practicing at 11:30 p.m., getting home at 1 a.m. to wake up at 7 a.m. for work the next day, all of us across the board. And so that's why I'm so excited to see where this is going, because it's about time that, you know, we make these big changes.
Yeah, you shouldn't be getting on the ice after I play my intramural university hockey game.
We were probably getting on the ice, like, after your team. You know what I mean?
No, that's
essentially.
That's atrocious.
Yeah.
And the WHL rookies are grabbing all the guys' gear. Like, man, if you as a professional hockey player having to carry your gear out, it's a little head scratcher.
Crazy.
Put it that way.
Crazy.
What do people not know about Chelsey Goldberg?
Okay, so a lot of people don't know that I have been producing music.
Okay.
And that's a very big passion of mine. yeah, a lot of people are going to learn now. But I've kept it very low key just because I'm not the type of person to just go share everything about myself. Like, if you ask me, I'm happy to tell you, but I don't just expose that. I've always loved music. I grew up playing guitar, and then chose hockey to take me where it's taken me. And now I really want to connect with people on a broad level. So I've been connecting. So I studied counseling and therapy in undergrad to connect with people on more of a surface, like I didn't want just surface level relationships. So I wanted to connect with people on greater relationship levels, and that's why I got a degree in that. And then I'm like, okay, how can we get bigger? And that's public speaking has been amazing for me to connect with, a vast array of people. I connect with hundreds of people to thousands of people. And to me, that's really special because everybody will take something different from what I say, or maybe they won't take anything, but it's still a really cool experience. And so now I'm like, how can I continue to get bigger? And music, to me, is so universal, and you can connect with hundreds of thousands, millions of people just with one song, or just, the ability to connect with so many people is so cool to me. And that's my goal, is to continue to inspire the world. I want to change the world, and I do believe that I could do that through music. And so I've been producing. Eventually, I do want to perform, and I do want to play festivals, and I do want to connect with millions of people. Sick. And so I'm going to do that through music. And so, yeah, it's a really cool thing that I've been doing, and I love it.
Heck yeah. This episode will come out in a couple weeks, and I know you're like not saying everything because you got stuff in the works, but I'm excited for it. You're going to be like one of the guys who I look up to, Jesse Itzler. I don't know if you're familiar with who he is. He started off by creating jingles for NBA basketball teams. Cool. And then has progressed as like a crazy career athlete, basically all around the board. But that was what got him his shot, is writing jingles for the Knicks. Yeah. I mean, something like that. Right? It'll change your life. Yeah. Crazy. And then that's how, it wasn't what you were on the ice at the Kings a couple weeks ago for, but I could see you writing a jingle for the Kings someday. I could see it. She's like, hold on. No, it's so great you say this, because I was at the game the other night, and they obviously showcased the DJ in the arena who's playing the songs. And I looked to my left, and I was like, I'm going to be up there like one day. For sure, that's definitely going to be a goal of mine. Yeah. And yeah, no doubt, for sure. Hey, you got to speak it into existence. When I set my mind to something, I do work my ass off to achieve that. Is that instilled from your parents? Do you have like specific 100%, people that inspired definitely. You? Yeah. I think all the above. My parents definitely taught, there's 4 of us, so all of us how to work hard and obviously create opportunities for yourself from that. And that's just basically how I live my life. I'm the best version of myself that I could be to myself and to others every single day, but I also, at the same time, work hard to get opportunities that I've been fortunate enough to get. And so I'm just going to keep doing that, and I know I'm going to be up there. Heck yeah. Yeah. Love it. Chelsey, the way we wrap up every episode is we ask our guests their biggest piece of advice for the next generation of athletes. I feel like 15 years on the road, Cali gal, Northeastern grad, representing the USA at the best possible level. What do you got for us today? Oh, there's so many pieces of advice that I've been through that I can, help others relate to. But I would just say have fun is one of the biggest ones with anything you do in life, whether that's being an athlete or working your 9 to 5, whatever it is. Just make sure you're enjoying what you're doing. I think when you're not enjoying it, you got to reevaluate something. So definitely have fun. Also embrace all of the challenges and adversity that comes your way. I know that's so much easier said than done, but looking back at where I've gotten to now from where I was, it's happened because of the adversity that I faced and the challenges that I went through and the mindset that I had. So really embrace any difficult times that come into your life, and just know that you're going to overcome that, and it's going to make you a better person in the end. Heck yeah. And you've overcome basically every obstacle out there possible. So kudos to you for that. Thank you. Thanks so much for coming on the pod. I do have to ask, how crazy were your mini stick battles with the 4 siblings?
it was mostly my twin and I.
Yeah.
So the two older siblings they were soccer players.
Right.
So a little different.
And then were they schooling you on the footwork though?
Completely. I'm still not a good pregame soccer player. Still not. Absolutely not. But the mini sticks, like with the boys, travel hockey with the boys, that was always the best.
Yeah,
Hallway mini sticks, yeah.
Were you throwing bows and shit too, or what?
No, I've never really been like an elbow thrower.
Oh, okay.
Even on the ice now, like if the gals want to get chippy, I'm like, I'm just not into that.
You're just having to skate around you.
I'm literally like, let's not do that, I don't know. I'm pretty chill, as you can probably see. I don't know.
No, like I said, in the middle, you're pretty uptight.
Yeah.
Any other? I do want to wrap up. Sorry, because there's one point that I always like to bring up around like playing sports as a young kid, and you played lacrosse, you played everything, and that's one thing I really want to bring up with every guest is like the importance of not just specializing with hockey, because you could have, right?
Completely.
Yeah.
But to me, it was a very good variety of skills that I gained from lacrosse, from being a swimmer, that actually translated to the game of hockey. So if you can get your feet in the door with so many other sports, definitely recommend it. My own personal opinion. I know a lot of people have different opinions as, no, you should spend all your time on the ice, but I experienced burnout. It's kind of crazy, but when I was training for hockey, like I sometimes wouldn't be on the ice at all in the summer until like the last maybe month that I had to.
Pulling a Dustin Bufflin.
Just because like burnout's so real for me, and that's my own thought. But being on the field with lacrosse or in the pool, I love swimming.
Okay.
It just like maybe it's a stress reliever or free the mind, whatever. But getting outside the rink was so healthy for me.
Yeah, it's you put it perfectly. I just hope everyone listening understands the importance of playing multiple sports. Do you know Dustin Bufflin's also a professional fisherman now?
I did not. But there we go.
Right?
Yeah.
Multi-sport
athlete.
Multi-sport,
yeah. Yeah.
That was great. Thank you. I appreciate your time.
Thanks so much.